What's going on, my creative collective? Welcome to your daily creative reading for June 6th. We're going to see where the cards take us, so let's dive in, shall we? I would like to invite the angels, my spirit guides, guardian angels, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space, and I ask that this is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay, so we're going to pull from the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle here. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives for June 6th, please? Me time. Divine discernment. And one with the sun. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay. So me time. I'm also seeing a theme of some like solar plexus chakra energy here too. Solar plexus chakra. So me time. Enjoy your own company. Divine discernment. Step back to find clarity. And one with the sun. Be the light. So, my daily creatives. Oh, train's coming in. I'm getting that there is maybe I'm getting a little bit of hermit energy, maybe. Nothing's bad or anything like that. I think there's just wisdom. You're going within more to get wisdom for you from within. One with the sun. I think that's really about kind of going within to better be able to step out and shine your light. And I think that's really what this is. Yeah, that's really what this energy is coming across as. So let me just check this out here. So I'm going to pull from the Muse Tarot. We're going to see where this takes us. Okay. Spirit, can I get some messages for my daily creatives for June 6th, please? Messages for June 6th. Thank you. All right, so let's see where we go with this one. And we've got the Muse of Voices. So this is, it's an addition to this deck. So it's the Muse. So it's the Muse of Swords. And I'm getting, so underneath that, I'll pull two. So we have the Two of Cups. Beautiful. There's like a consciousness bridging energy. So there's something about your patterns that you're stepping into and out of this week. There's a way that you're seeing things reflected back to you, and you're making better choices. I'm hesitant to say that, but I think you're making choices that serve you. This is about you making choices that serve you. And this Two of Cups tells me there might be some soulmate energy on the table. This could be with work. This could be personally speaking, in terms of relationships, I should say. Everything in tarot is personal. But I think this is more about the possibility of soulmate energy kind of coming in, bridging consciousness energy related to it as well. Let's see where we go with this here. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives? More bridging energy. Wow. There's like a story of things unfolding internally right now. Big time. My daily creatives. This is more bridging energy, but the pentacle energy. So it's like we're getting patterns and then we're grounding that in something important and really helpful for you. This is quite lovely. Spirit, what else do you have for my daily creatives, please? Magician. Yeah, this is like there's like an intense, I feel like this is an intense manifesting period for you, number one. Number two, I feel like this is really, you're starting this day off, this week off with like a lot of creative power. There's like power that you're standing in and also that you've stepped into perhaps. And then we have the Six of Swords. So that's like the leaving behind. I have to move this over because why don't I do this just to make space so that I don't have to abandon my spread here. Spirit, what messages do you have for my daily creatives, please? So we have the Three of Swords. Okay, so this is in this spread that I've made. This is the position of something that could become a tower if we don't really tend to the energy. And when I put this down, I heard Meryl Streep at an award show from years ago quoting Carrie Fisher, who had just passed away at the time, saying something to the effect of like, to quote my friend Carrie Fisher, take your broken heart and make it into art. Something like that. Take your broken heart and make it into art. So like I'm getting that the energy of the tower is like doing nothing with and just sitting in that heartbreak. And we have the Four of Cups. That cards may pop out in reverse. I read intuitively though, so if they read as a reversal, then I will leave it. Oh, this, okay, but you want it here. Okay, that's fine. I'm good with it, Spirit. Okay, so we have some fives here. So there's, I think, an element of change. There's two, but that's a big enough number for me, and the fours as well. I think that there's a manifesting power that you're standing in. Let me do this here for you. I like the sunlight, but these cards can be quite reflective. There we are. So it's like you're standing in a creative power right now, and I think that one of the things that you are understanding is the power of moving away from what does not serve you and what does. Six of Swords. So there's a clarity here. There's something that's not clearing the path, but becoming clearer to you about the journey that you're taking through heartbreak. And heartbreak can be, it's such a powerful, it's an evocative word, right? Like, I think this is more disappointment. Like there's something you're like, oh, that's stupid, right? Like those moments where we're just like, we see ourselves and we're like, oh, that was an interesting reaction, right? Like it's an aware energy that isn't anchored in the disappointment itself. Like it's something that I'm seeing a motion to it, like not emotion, but like a space motion. Like there's a moving energy to this. So it's like I'm moving away, I'm getting, the protagonist energy here is showing up as the Five of Swords. So I think this is a little bit of learning the lessons of things that you've left behind. And this could also be, I'm hearing lessons of the retrograde. So it could be the Mercury retrograde, but it could also be the Saturn retrograde that's kicking off this month. Like there might be lessons, and Neptune retrograde too, but more Saturn. I'm hearing Saturn quite loud. So it could be that this is just an energy of looking at those lessons and experiences where you may have walked away feeling a little bit like less than, or like you had to take just whatever, like it's like a winning energy that you are, it's almost like a situational thing is what I'm hearing. Like there's something about that. But it's the lessons of that are your friend right now. The Four of Pentacles is holding back. So this is the antagonist energy. So this is showing up to me in the sense of the things that you're hanging maybe tightly to, but are you aware of why, right? Like if we hang on to things tightly, that's fine. That is a choice. We can choose that if we want, but it's about understanding the why behind it so that we can inform our choices with the questions that are important. Like, is this something that I want to do on my path? Is this important to my path? How is this affecting me? That kind of thing, right? Like it's those things. So it's almost like asking questions of ourselves and being aware. If we're kind of holding back on something with this Four of Pentacles, then is it in service to something higher, right? Is it in service to something? Because this is also like, in a way, this is like a divine no, but like one that is coming from within you, hence it being divine, right? Like this is you honoring yourself as well. So it can be both things. Like if you're not doing something, there's a why there, and it's like tapping into the why so that can then inform other parts of your life as well. So I'm just seeing this sort of trickle effect happening. And then the main challenge today is, I think, a little bit of boredom. I'm hearing 2 p.m. slump. Oh my goodness. And that's where, so lately I've been trying to time how I eat so that I don't have those. And it's been quite good because like I eat pretty clean for the most part. And I think that this is like, it's like managing your energy, but also I'm hearing managing your expectations and managing your expectations of yourself as part of that too. So I'm getting that there's a part of you that is tapping into your own power. And I think that it takes a bit of stepping outside of yourself, maybe, I think a little stepping outside of yourself. But then we have the Seven of Wands here, and this is a bit of the lessons that we learn from this, the triumph over this sort of sense of boredom. Now this can just be the banality of every day, like this can just be like boredom from things that you're doing, but I'm getting that this is more existential and not like dramatic existential, but like there's some big questions that you're asking because of the questions from this, like this why, right? And this divine discernment, this kind of going within that sort of framed the reading as well. And this one with the sun, like be the light. I feel like there's a lot of this here, this bigger life question energy. And I think that this is you advocating for yourself in more powerful ways, right? Like you're holding the light for yourself, you're holding space for yourself, where you may not have done that before, at least not in this particular iteration. And that's where I think maybe this Two of Cups, this soulmate energy can come in. This can be romantic, soulmate, but it can also just be like your BFF, like this can be your future BFF, like this can be that kind of energy too. So it's someone that just really understands you. The Two of Cups is still the Two of Cups, though. But I think it's an equal exchange of energy, and I feel like you're understanding your power through this. I'm hearing entry point, through this entry point, and this is an energy of leaving things behind on the one hand, yes, but it's also tapping into all of this creative power that you have, because there's like a leaving behind energy, there's this sort of disappointment energy, there's a boredom energy, but the Magician is here with this beautiful bridging consciousness energy. Like we're breaking free of patterns and also stepping into what's most important to us at the same time. So as much as there is like this sort of the articulation of this, the sharp edges that might harm a heart in here in terms of the emotion, or sorry, I saw the sharp edges on that. That's the Five of Cups, but it too has some sharp edges, right? I think that the edges of the swords and the burn of the wands and the thorns in the roses here, like I'm seeing sharp edges that make it difficult to be tender with yourself and maybe to be tender with others too. And that could be what I'm picking up on as well. This 10 of Swords though is like a leaving behind of that energy. We're leaving that behind, I think, because there's a way that you're advocating for yourself. Now, the trick here is, I think, going to be resisting disappointment. Like, I think that there is some disappointment energy here. This could be disappointment. I don't think that it's within yourself. I do see a full moon here on close to the chest. So this could be where the full moon in Sagittarius or the last full moon that we had in Scorpio, because it's a watery energy. It could be that there were things that came up around that time. It could also be that there were some, it's gone. Yeah. Spirit did not want that one out. I don't know. Generally speaking, though, I'm just talking about that there's some conflict here. You feel conflicted about this letting go. And this can just be releasing expectations and freeing yourself, right? That's as simple as this could be. Like somebody comes into your life and it's, you regard it as an opportunity. You're using divine discernment, right? You're stepping into that sense of fun and you're, one with the sun, you're in your Leo, you're enjoying, but then what do we call it? What does this friendship mean? Are we going to do this, that, or the other thing? These are all expectations that we can just push on things. And it often comes from places like from endings that we haven't really acknowledged or given equal measure to, that need to be, there's like I feel like as much as we have celebrations for things coming into our lives, we need to have equal sort of a ceremonial stepping through into in the letting go sense too. So that's an important energy to keep in mind as well. We're going to clarify here. Spirit, what messages do you have to clarify this message for my daily creatives for June 6th, please? A little bit of star energy on the bottom there. Hope. Six of Pentacles. Whoa. That was not even shuffle. I'm inventing shuffles now. I don't know if you knew this, but that's what I'm doing. This is my proprietary shuffle, and it's just me throwing the cards at the table. Knight of Cups. right in place. I'm hearing somebody is fitting you like a glove. Oh, that's lovely. That came down and I heard like a glove, like somebody just fits. Someone just fits. I'm not sure what that means. I mean, I know what it would mean to me, but I don't know what it means to you. But I think it's this like resisting the urge to feel disappointed by something, because I think there's something else coming in, and it's subtle. Like, it's not like the Six of Pentacles is not like a, it's not a tower, nor is it a Jupiter. I feel Jupiter in here though. It's hiding out in this deck that I feel will come out. Maybe not, but I don't know. I'm feeling some Jupiter energy, this expansion. This is a very subtle expansion though. Like, it's not, it's an even give and take, right? It's not a spirit expansion. This is an expansion that happened within you. And I think this is an even exchange of some kind of emotion. There's a sensitivity here to things. And this is, again, that tenderness, right? Like all of the sharp edges of something, or the sharp nuances that might have you, that might make it difficult to access these tender corners of your heart. Cards doing backflips. 10 of Cups, Hangman. Yep. It's that heartfelt. There's something. I'm getting that there's like messages coming to you. Knights are messengers. So are pages though, right? But I feel like the knight in this particular iteration here is this really, it's a sensitive awareness that's coming over you. That is connected to the hope for something more. But I think that there's still this divine discernment, right? This call to discern. There's something that you need to understand about this. And it's not because of like, be afraid, be very afraid. It's not like that. It's because you're getting into a place of, there's like more stability that you're moving into. With the number of swords here, and the positionality, or the positions of the pentacles, this tells me that there's some way that you are understanding things and clearing things out, and doing the work to clear for yourself, to rebuild a foundation. And I think that this is going to help you, like, understanding this. There's something about this that you need to understand, not in terms of like, oh my gosh, this thing is here and it's amazing, but about you being worthy of it. Because it's like a foundational piece here. So we have that bridging energy for the consciousness, that consciousness energy here. And then we also have the Two of Cups. So it's almost like love consciousness, patterns in love, patterns in appreciation, patterns of gratitude. Four of Cups, perhaps not feeling like we deserved that much of it, or there were ways that we were ignoring, or not paying attention to our own worth and stability, perhaps. And then the Seven of Wands here is this way that you're starting to show up for yourself as part of that. You're starting to show up for yourself. Spirit, can you clarify this for me, for my daily creatives? This can just be lessons from today as well, right? Like, this can be lessons that are showing up today, or relative. Because of the Saturn retrograde, it could be that today's messages are relevant, up to and including that. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, that's this withholding energy here. It's like you're showing up for yourself and understanding that there's a way that you were holding on to something, and holding on to something is the sort of confirmation or reiteration of a belief, right? We believe that we don't deserve something, so we don't let go of what we have because we're so fearful of releasing something, just letting it go into the wild. It's like sea turtle affection, right? Like, you put something out into the ocean, and then if it comes back, amazing. But that's kind of what it's like to love and to care about somebody. It's like you're kind of putting a little sea turtle into the ocean, a baby sea turtle, right? Yeah. Let your love be feral though. Let it be wild. If that is the wildest part of you, you have to let those emotions flow, because there's something really, it could just be all of my fire talking when I say that, but like, you have to let your emotions be a little feral sometimes, because they have much to teach you. Four of Pentacles. Spirit, what else do you have for me here? Ace of Wands. Yep. I felt that too. This is the new. Like, I think this is the entry of someone into your life this week or upcoming that feel like maybe you didn't, it's like this sort of unexpected energy, like you were just doing your thing. You were doing your thing. I mean, restrictively to an extent. You were doing your thing, and then something kind of caught your eye, or someone caught your eye, where you were like, oh, well, yeah, right. And I get the impression that this is like letting your emotions be feral. I'm not gonna lie, like because I talked about the fire and like the wands energy, like that's letting your love and passion be a little bit feral, even if it's scary. Like you don't have to share with anybody, but just letting yourself dream a little bit. Um, Although the Ace of Wands is like, I mean, those are interesting dreams. um, I feel like I am one bad joke away from Tyler's tarot right now. Anyway, the Sun and the Seven of Swords. I feel like this is, you're not letting, like, it's like letting your emotions be a little bit wild is like, it's like you're refusing to let things kind of squish out this light, to like stamp out that joy, that appreciation, the joy. Yeah. It's like that joy. I will tell you that when I've done story times with kids, one of my favorite things about it is when we get to do, like, you do a book with like animal sounds or whatever. So you have these like this group of kids, you like work them up, and then you just get them to like roar all together, and it's like the coolest thing ever, because you just see they do it with their whole body. Like they're excited with their whole selves, and that's that feralness, right? Like that little bit of wild that we all have. And I feel like there's something about that with your emotions that you just have to let be unkempt sometimes, right? So this Magician and the consciousness energy. So it's almost like this manifesting consciousness as well as this love consciousness energy here. This is clarified here in the Magician with the three. So that's the Three of Swords as well. And the High Priestess and the Page of Cups are clarifying here. So I feel like there's, as much as it's sort of stepping outside of this Three of Swords, feeling about yourself in terms of your manifesting. Like maybe there were disappointments and you felt like those were manifestations, but those were opportunities for you to perhaps, like a good way to look at it at least would be opportunities to know your own power, opportunities to understand where you're coming from, opportunities to understand your own joy as part of all of this. And I think that your intuition is really, it's not only anchoring you, but there's a way that you've been guided and that you are being guided. So what I find lovely about this is that when it comes to this sense of happiness that you're moving towards, or that is moving towards you with this Knight of Cups, specific to this Two of Cups energy here, we then have the Page of Cups. Like there's a lot of love in this energy and a lot of love in this reading, whether that's love romantically or love, an appreciation of a friend or what you do, that kind of thing. There's a lot of gratitude and appreciation at the very least. Very minimally speaking, that's what this energy represents to me. So I am getting that, this is, you may have questions about your heart space, and questions like the page is like, study, like it's a student. It's like you're a student of your emotions right now, and you're a little bit hesitant. So you let this like little tiny goldfish, maybe even a guppy, like, pop out, and like, you're like, yeah, that's how I feel. But like what you're called to do is to I just see this whale jumping out of the water and then splashing down in the Pacific. I don't know why the Pacific, but like it's that energy of like that outward motion, and then that beautiful splash back down. The Star and the Chariot, Aquarian and Cancerian energy. Yeah, this is like, I don't know why today is turning into like a message about letting your emotions just be a little bit wild. And, when they're not easy to understand, it can be frustrating. I get that as an Aquarian, like, and beyond Aquarianness, it's just like, I feel like words are so powerful. So when I articulate how I feel, I want my words to be so clear and just crisp. And I want to have sat with them so that when I share how I feel about something, it is not just well known to me, but I can articulate it for all of the fullness and depth of meaning that they have to me. So I'm not someone who just like throws things around, because I've seen how easily that can cause hurt, right? And I feel like there's this sense though of stepping into that, like understanding that when you're letting your emotions, they're not getting carried away. You're not letting them, run off into the night. You're the chariot here, right? They're very directed. They're very directed. And they're directed through this sense of healing and hope that you have. And it's almost like it's safe to dream, but it's like it's safe to let your manifestations steep in your emotions like tea. Just to let them steep in there like tea. Yeah. Oh, that's a little interesting critter. 9 of Wands here on the 6 of Swords and the 5 of Swords. Yeah, a little bit of a reluctance to let go. I get the 5 of Swords here as being like the ways that you've done things before in this kind of clarifying part here. The ways that you've done things before, you're really clinging tightly to them because of perhaps some things that you've had to leave behind and like unceremoniously leave behind, right? They just weren't working. So you had to kind of put the lid on it. And there's like a reluctance to be in that passionate fire energy, in that, just to be in your wildness. I'm hearing, so the title of this book, it's been a while since I've read it, so maybe this is a call for me to reread it. It is Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Oh, so good. That book was amazing. And I think it's just this kind of call to tap into that, right? When we think of the divine feminine, you think of this like, this composed and like, it's all like perfect. And yes, this is like it. And it's not like, I don't know. I think, how do I word this? It's like it's like the divine feminine sometimes shows up like this, right? And it is divine feminine energy. But what I see the divine feminine as sometimes is it's important to be in like this energy. I'm having an issue explaining it. Yeah, I'm having big time issues explaining this, but it's like stepping into both iterations and balancing both because they're both equally divine. They're both equally part of who you are. So it's really understanding what you need to leave behind in terms of stories that you've told about your wildness. Your wildness. I love this. If this is coming through all the readings this week, I am so here for that. Judgment. So some Pluto. Yeah, this is like my cat's going to try and come in here. Hi, baby. Oh, no one needs to see that side of you. Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative collective? There's this transformative energy. Like, it's like, maybe this is like connecting you to, it's like connecting you to a part of yourself. Connecting you back to a part of yourself is what I'm hearing really strongly. Hey, what you doing? Oh my gosh, she's stretched out so strangely across the bookshelf, and I'm worried that she's going to fall, but she seems to be okay. I don't know. Cats are like that though, right? Like they just wander across stuff and you look at them and you're like, but how? But actually how? Because they run like potatoes on toothpicks sometimes. At least mine does. So, Spirit, what messages do you have here? Judgment, 6 of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. There's that sort of soulmate, soul bond energy again. This could be something, the 6 of Cups is the first go-to could be the past, but I feel like a little bit of this could be a new awareness that you have of the past, and this is like you showing up in another iteration in terms of being able to offer yourself in a more grounded way, because you've connected to these different parts of you, right? To these wild parts of you. Yeah, it's like rewilding yourself. We reparent ourselves, and I love this because, like I said, I've said it in other readings. I'm pretty feral. Like I'm usually out on the trail somewhere or exploring. Make sure you wear long pants though, because it's tick season. If you're in Southern Ontario or around regions where that's the case. But it's like rewilding yourself. Rewilding. Magician energy showing up again. Yeah, it's like letting go, this releasing the need. There's no, okay, my brain just thought in memes, and Spirit was like, it's like a releasing the urge to, or like, the urge to blank. Anyways, do you ever get the urge to just magician? Like, anyway, I think that whatever it is that you're sort of surrendering to or releasing, because the Four of Pentacles is as much a holding on energy as it is a releasing. And the way it's showing up here in this clarifying part is that it is a sort of releasing. And the Magician energy here is manifestations coming to fruition for you. Yeah, there's the Five of Cups again. Disappointment. It's like disappointment in past manifestations where you were kind of like, oh, well, that didn't work out. And you blamed yourself. And maybe you needed to look at the entirety of circumstances around that and take responsibility for what was actually yours. And I've said it before, this like the circle of responsibility, right? Like what's actually yours, because you can only take ownership of that. And if you do that, if you try to take ownership of things that aren't yours, that is just as unhealthy as not taking ownership of things that you should be, right? Not being accountable to things that you should be. That is just the same. That is just as much, right? So, whoa. So this one came out first. Queen of Cups and Eight of Wands. Yeah. More cups energy. Cups for everyone. You get a cup, you get a cup. It's like Oprah. Everyone finds one under their seat. Yay. But it's like this, there's this overflow of emotion because you've done this and you're stepping into this emotional maturity. We kind of go from the Knight to the Page to the Knight Queen, right? Then it's like, bam, Queen energy. Now I feel like this is like a way for you. This is like a lot of success and ease of not just communicating your emotions, but like there's a momentum that they're gaining in terms of directed in a particular, whether that's in a particular direction, whether that's to your, manifestations and how you're using emotions to manifest, or whether that's because you're now like this Two of Cups energy, there's like a soulmate at play, be it a friend or lover or partner or future partner, whatever. But there's this sort of energy, this beautiful energy that's at play for you right now. And it's not a matter of like, look, or you'll miss it. It's not like that at all, because I don't think it's something that you can miss, because I think it's something that you're drawing towards you. And that's this Magician energy here, where it's like, this is all showing me that there's like a magnetic aspect to you right now. But you're doing the work of peace. You're doing the work of centering yourself and grounding yourself. And the grounding is coming from the way the pentacles are showing up too, right? Six of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. But I do feel like there's a way that you were kind of taking away from your joy a little bit, like you were limiting how much you could experience. I think because this Ace of Wands can be really scary if you're in this Four of Pentacles. If you're in a Four of Pentacles, it is a balanced energy, but it isn't the greatest expansion of your energy or the greatest expansion that your energy could know of itself. So I think that there's a way that you were kind of you were playing small in some way. And this is where, like, what does being feral mean? Well, it can mean, like, I don't know, going to the beach and wearing, I'm thinking about, for me, like one of the steps that I'm thinking about doing is wearing my binder to the beach, because that's been a place where I have to wear layers so that people aren't like, what exactly, or like, have a nice day, ma'am. It's like, okay, right? So it's just that, like, being feral is not necessarily about putting yourself in situations that are uncomfortable that will harm you, my lovelies. That's not it. So don't do that, or places that you might be triggered. This is about stepping into energies and stepping into your fullest capacity to know yourself as and capable of holding the Ace of Wands. It's like this fiery energy. It's stoking that fire. 3-3-3-3 on the time. It's like stoking that fire. Yeah. And but again, it goes back to this sense of like being comfortable with your own wildness, the ways that you resist conformity, you resist being easy to understand. And that's not to say that being easy to understand is a bad thing, but I think that there's a way that we make ourselves more convenient for others, and that dims not only our light, but it limits our capacity to know ourselves as expansive beings, because instead of expanding, we will shrink first. And that's what this energy is telling me about here, right? So it's like, where are you most in touch with your Ace of Wands? Right? And that can be, the Ace of Wands can be seen as like sexual energy on the one hand, but then it is also It's also an energy of like sensuality, of passion, of ideas like that. I'm here. It's like creative primordial soup, right? Like that's where that's and like where things just like come out of the woodwork and of the mist and all of these different things that are just, they're so beautiful. But there's a sense of wildness here that I'm getting, like letting yourself be, not to quote a Glennon Doyle book, because I do love it though, so read it if you have not, but like Untamed, right? Like she says to the cheetah in the cage, like, you're a goddamn cheetah. Like that's you. And I feel like you're getting back in touch with this. I mean, it could also be a call if you haven't read that book to do so, because that looks mightily like the cover. I'm just putting it out there. I'll show you. Yeah, a lot like the cover. Yeah. Some wilding, some rewilding. Let's see what else. Let's close this out here. Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative collective, please? Messages from a creative collective. Thank you so much. Create space for new love. Well, if you were wondering, yes. That energy is afoot, and I found that when you're in that place of doing you with such profound abandon that you forget where you are and who's watching or who might be watching, magic happens. Like that's the magician energy, right? Like it just, I don't know. You've got time. Yeah, divine timing at work, number 1. But number 2, don't rush anything right now, right? Divine discernment. Lean into joy. Yes, absolutely. But cultivate that time for you as part of this, because I think you're reconnecting to a part of yourself that's really going to be fundamental for whatever your next steps or path, wherever that path takes you. Ooh, sorry. Remember how I talked about throwing the cards on the desk? Well, my next trick is just to throw around my crystals. No, I'm kidding. Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative collective for June 6th? Whoa. The key to getting what I want is to ask for it. Yes, indeed. Indeed it is. And it's like being unafraid, right? Like that's your wild parts. The wild parts are like where you would be compelled to contract, or where it looks attractive because you're afraid of being too much. I got this a lot when I was a kid. Like, you're too much. You know, like that teacher who, like, I adored that teacher. And she said it like with funny, it was funny. But it was just like that sort of, because she did let me, like, she very much let me be feral. But it's like that siéntate, right? Like, And I mean, she would finish it up with other things. Like there's a way to say sit down and please be quiet. But yeah, it's just that's sort of like asking for it. And asking for it is also the magician energy of magnetizing things to you. So when I feel blocked, emotionally distressed, or overwhelmed, I turn to my breath. Yeah, so some breath work probably be called for here. I think. But yeah, today we're rewilding this week, 3737 on the time. So let's do that. This is your reading for the day, my daily creatives. So stay wild, my friends. I am going to leave it here though. So if you want to connect in other ways on the channel, you can. If this resonated, like and subscribe. I would love it. And I'm so appreciative that you're here. So thank you. And yeah, if this is where we part, I hope that wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, that it finds you very well, my friends. Take care and have a great day.